This is part 2 of making kipta. That's about how much water you're going to put in the stove there. It's about half of that pot right there. You want the flame on high. You got about, I have about 1 tablespoon, or yeah, 1 tablespoon of salt in there. 2 cans of these small tomato paste. It's about, I think they're like 6 ounces. A little bit of oregano. I'd say maybe about a tablespoon of that. And in the beginning, I sauteed some onions at the bottom of the pot. I had it on low flame. Put some of this classic pure olive oil in there. 2 tablespoons of that on the bottom with the onions. Then you saute them for a little bit. Make sure the flame's on low so you don't burn the onions. And then once they get sauteed a little bit, that's when you add your water in here. About half of the pot. And then you put your 2 cans of tomato paste. And you chop up 1 onion into a bunch of pieces. And again, your oregano. And don't forget, you put a little bit of this rice in there, not a lot. Remember I told you guys in part 1 that just in a quarter cup of it, you know, half and half goes to the meat and half goes to the actual soup right here. So once you got it on high flame and it starts to boil like this, that's when you put your meatballs. I think, let me see how many I got. This is about 2 pounds of hamburger here. I got 11 meatballs out of that. So once that starts to boil like that, you put these in there, and then you can set your timer for about 20 minutes. And once the timer goes off, usually it takes about 20 minutes, and then when the meatballs start to rise to the top, that's when you know the food's done. So yeah, it usually takes about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. I usually like running timer for about 20 minutes, and then I set it for another 5 minutes just to make sure that the meat's fully cooked. And that's it, and that's kipta. And there's the bread that you use for it, some kind of pita bread. This is a different kind, but it's still good. It's really soft. And it tastes really good with it. You can actually dip the bread into the sauce. But I usually like putting the hamburger meatballs. I cut them up and put it inside the bread. Kind of make like little mini sandwiches, and I dip it in a sauce. And I eat it, and that's how I like it. So everybody likes it in a different way. But I got a few more meatballs here. And that's it. Oh, and before you put the meatballs in there, you want to taste your soup to see if it tastes good to you. Like, you know, some people like it more saltier, some people like it less saltier, but this Middle Eastern dish calls for 1 teaspoon of regular salt. And then you start tasting it afterwards, and if you like it, that's fine. If you want to add more salt, just make sure you taste it before you put the meat in there. And that's it. You put the lid on there. You don't want the flame on full blast because it'll start boiling over and start coming out. So maybe put it like about halfway, like that. And then you set the timer for 20 minutes and you're good. Enjoy, guys.